So I don't like diets. I don't advocate for dieting, but all of us are on a diet. Hello, everyone. So I have that book that I mentioned in the last episode, in which we covered eating well while you're working from home. We will talk about that later. But today we are talking about diets, dieting, and my thoughts on those. So before we start, I'm recording this episode after work, and on my drive home from work, I drove past an accident and we were going real fast. I didn't see the accident, but I saw the accident scene before first responders were there, and I saw an SUV that had spun more than 90 degrees compared to the direction it should have been going, and then a motorcycle of some sort. It didn't look like a Harley. It made me think more of a crotch rocket over against the side of the road, and it makes me sad when I see accidents like that. Like sometimes I'll see rear end accidents and like, you know that everyone was okay. And this one, I was like, Lord, let everyone be okay. And it's just a reminder that like, don't make such risky moves when you're driving, especially when you're driving fast. Give yourself a little bit more space behind the person in front of you. Like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Be careful. Check your blind spots. Check your mirrors. Look around like a crazy person before you change lanes. You never know what's going on. So that is very off topic, but just safety first, everyone, please. Okay, so I don't like diets. I don't advocate for dieting, but all of us are on a diet. So what do I mean by that? In today's day and age, colloquially, the term diet, the definition that is commonly understood is that a diet means that you are trying to lose weight for the most part, unless someone says, I am on an elimination diet, which usually people will go on to determine what sort of foods are causing issues with their body. Otherwise, if someone says, oh, I'm on a diet, it means they're eating less, they're cutting out certain foods in order to lose weight for the most part. And yesterday, I was in a group of people and someone said, I'm not eating carbs this month. And then more information came out that they had done this in the past and they lost a bunch of weight, but they gained some of the weight back, but not all of it. And so they want to do it again. And I had no authority to say anything to this person. So in my mind, I'm like, shut your mouth, Rachel. Because I have such a strong opinion against going on a diet, because diets are not sustainable. Like this person cutting out carbs for a month, but knowing that they're not going to cut out carbs forever. So one thing that they're doing is they're like, I don't want to give up alcohol. Like this diet I'm on, I'm not supposed to have alcohol, but like they knew in the future, like they want alcohol to be part of their lifestyle. So they were looking for low carb alcoholic drinks. And so I was like, okay, so they understand that they need it to be somewhat sustainable. But this diet also included like shakes and bars. And even you may have guesses at what it is, but they said the name. I'd never heard of it before. And I was just like, don't do this. And my reasoning behind that is diets are short term. They are intended for you to lose weight, to reach a goal, and then what? What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to stay on that diet for the rest of your life when that's not how you want to enjoy your life. You want to be able to enjoy pizza, enjoy pasta, enjoy bread. Are you just going to cut it out? And you may reach your goal by going on a diet. you may lose the weight. But oftentimes it's called yo-yo dieting. You lose the weight, you get off the diet, you gain the weight back, and then you're like, shoot, I don't like this. So you go back on a diet, you lose the weight, you get off the diet, you gain it back. And who wants that? No, that's not how I want to live my life. Like, I want to be able to enjoy the foods I like on a regular basis and have a healthy relationship with food and not look at food as being bad versus good, but more being better quality with more nutrients and then something that is just for me to enjoy. Now, at the beginning, I said we are all on a diet. And we are. We each have a diet. Our diet is how we eat, what we eat. And so, yes, you are going to have a diet. And I think it should be something that you cultivate, something that you hone in on, something that you experiment with over time. You find what works for you. You find what doesn't work for you. It may change as the years go by, as the decades go by, and that's okay. What I don't think is okay is the mental and physical roller coaster that you may have put yourself through, you are putting yourself through, you want to put yourself through, of making these drastic, non-sustainable life changes that aren't going to last. So something to think about if you are thinking about going on a diet. You may lose the quote pounds, but it may not just be fat that you're losing, which is what you may think you're losing. You may lose water weight. You probably will lose some fat, but you will also lose some muscle. And you don't want to lose muscle. Muscle helps to keep your metabolism going. And as you build muscle, it naturally increases your metabolism, which means you're burning more energy. And so muscle is good, and you don't want to lose that. And if you do an extreme diet where you lose weight really fast, there's a very good chance that you're going to lose muscle as well. Additionally, going on a diet, especially if it's, when I say extreme, I mean like cutting out carbs when you don't intend to cut out carbs for the rest of your life, or cutting out sugar when you don't intend to cut out sugar for the rest of your life, or making those big changes that you don't expect to continue on after you reach your goal or after that event that you're trying to lose weight for. Repercussions of cutting out the things that you like may lead you to fail in your diet, or if I can call it, a relapse after you're done with your diet, meaning you cut out the sugar, you cut out the carbs, and your cravings build up, and you give in to your cravings, and you just go crazy and you eat a bunch of carbs, you eat a bunch of sugar, and then like you feel bad because you're like, oh, I didn't have the self-control not to do that. And so you either like go back to dieting really hard because you want to make up for your quote mess up, and then maybe you won't do that again, but maybe it's going to happen again down the road that like you feel like you can't control yourself and you end up overeating, you end up having a night where you binge eat. You're not hungry, but you just keep eating and eating because you restricted yourself, and now you're like, I just want to eat it all. So that is not healthy. Or you finish your diet, you reach your event, and then you just basically, you like let yourself out of the cage and go eat all the things that you couldn't eat before. And like that can be okay to enjoy the foods that maybe you haven't had a chance to eat in a while, but there's a difference when you yourself put you in a food prison with only certain foods that you're allowed to eat or so much that you're allowed to eat, and then you unlock your prison cell and you're like, I can eat everything now, so I'm just going to eat everything. And that's not a healthy relationship with food. But what is a healthy relationship with food is cultivating your diet, learning about food, learning about foods that have a lot of nutrients versus learning about foods that don't have a lot of nutrients, but you know you like. And then experimenting with foods, like trying new foods, trying new dishes, trying new fruits and veggies, and seeing what you do like. Incorporating those into your daily snacks, meals, or your meal planning for the week, the month. What is good is, instead of making this drastic change overnight of, this is what I normally eat, and now this is what I'm going to eat, and this is all I'm going to eat, and these are the only amounts that I'm going to eat, is making a slow change over time. And I know this may not be what you want to do if you have a wedding coming up, a graduation coming up, something coming up, where a reunion coming up where you want to look good. I can't tell you what to do, but if you want to be healthy and feel good in your body, be willing to take the time to cultivate a new diet, a new lifestyle that you can sustain and you can enjoy for the long term. So slowly incorporate more fruits and veggies into your diet. Slowly change over from refined carbs, white bread, white rice, over to whole grains. Slowly cut out sugary drinks. Slowly add in more water to your diet. And maybe roll in with that more movement throughout your day, throughout your week. Incorporate more sleep. Go to bed a little earlier so that you are getting a good amount of sleep that your body craves. Food alone can help you lose weight. It can help you become a healthier version of yourself, but it does not exist within a vacuum. And along with food not being the only thing that matters, food is not the only thing that matters. You still have a life, you still have loved ones, you still have work, you still have friends. How your body looks is not the only thing that matters. Yes, when you start to get healthy, you feel better, and that impacts your relationships, your productivity. It has a huge impact, but don't let how your body looks and how you're trying to make it look, don't let it allow you to miss out on life. That is another perk of, instead of a short-term extreme diet, building new habits, healthier habits that you work into your life as it is. Your life will change a little bit. Your activity, what you buy at the grocery store, the meals you make, the meals you order, but you still get to live your life. You're still going to go to work. You're still going to hang out with friends. You're still going to visit family. But sometimes going on a diet can make you miss out on things, and it can affect you. If you are on an extreme diet and you're hungry all the time, you're missing out on food, like your body is craving food because it needs energy, because maybe you're not feeding it enough, maybe you're not feeding it the nutrients that it needs, and so you're craving more food. That can make you crabby, it can make you irritable, it can make you tired. Not eating enough can make you tired. And so how is that going to impact you as a parent, as a friend, as a coworker, as a boss, as a sibling? How is that going to affect your productivity, getting chores done, getting your work tasks done? So really think about, is it worth it? Is it worth it doing this crazy 7-day diet? Is it worth it doing this 30 days without carbs? Maybe in the short term it feels like it. Maybe you see the number on the scale change, but then what? Is it going to last? Are you going to keep doing it? Or would you rather take the time, although it may be painful, we want things now. We want things now. We don't want to wait 1 month. We don't want to wait 3 months. We don't want to wait 6 months. We don't want to wait a year. But do we want a quick diet that gives us short-term results? Or do we want to change how we eat, what we eat, and have long-term results? So I don't like dieting. I don't like diets, don't like calorie counting, don't like that at all. God did not put the nutrient facts on the foods that he gave us. He gave us bodies that tell us when we're hungry, that tell us when we're full, that get antsy when we sit still for too long. That's maybe a cue that you need to stand up, move around, stretch out a little bit, go for a walk. Food is meant to be enjoyed. Food is not the enemy. Food is energy. So, yes, there are foods that have more value to our body than others, but it's still okay to enjoy the foods that we enjoy just because they taste good. So I don't like cutting out foods. No diets. That's my words. No diets. Let how you eat be something that you can sustain. And like I said earlier, it can change over time. There was a time in my life where I tried cutting out carbs and just eat low carb, high protein, and my body, that just didn't work for my body. Eating a lot of carbs, and I try to eat like a lot of nutrient dense carbs, whole grains, whole foods, and that satiates my body better. So you don't have to eat how someone else eats. Find a way of eating that works for you. I'll leave it at that. If you guys have comments, leave them down below if you're watching on YouTube. Let me know what you think about diets. One last thing that I will say is diet culture has a focus on losing weight. And like I said, it's not all about food. It's also not about, life isn't about being the thinnest you can be. Yes, it's good to want to be healthy, want to be active, want to enjoy your body and feel good in your body, but God did not put us on this earth to be the skinniest version of ourselves. God did not put us on this earth just to be the skinniest versions of ourselves. We are not on this earth to please other people. And that can be hard. Like we want other people's approval, even though we shouldn't. It shouldn't matter. Yes, you want to have integrity and all that, but how your body looks isn't the most important thing. So don't feel, it's easy to say, but my hope is that you don't feel pressured to lose weight. You don't feel pressured to be the smallest version of yourself. So I'll leave you with that. I'll leave it at that with dieting. And now I'm going to tell you about the book that I mentioned in my last episode. And it is called The Inimitable Jeeves. The Inimitable Jeeves by P.G. Wodehouse. A friend lent this book to me. And what does intimidable mean? I did not know either, so I looked it up, but I'm going to look it up again for you guys. Inimitable. Did I say that right? Inimitable means so good or unusual as to be impossible to copy. Unique. So I'm only a couple chapters in, about 33 pages in, and Jeeves is the butler to a young, wealthy man who is kind of like carefree. And Jeeves, the butler, it's set in Europe, in England. And Jeeves is just dry. He's to the point, but he knows what's up. He's very smart. He's witty. And I just enjoy some of the ridiculousness of it all. And like, he's always like 2 steps ahead of what's going on. And he's just like the young man that he buttles for is, like I said, he's carefree and he's not the most street smart. He's kind of happy-go-lucky. So Jeeves is always like 2 steps ahead of the situations, trying to cover his butt and make sure he doesn't get into trouble. And I'm interested to see where this story goes, because I feel like it's a sitcom, like a classy sitcom. And it's in the, they mention the war. So I think it's set right after one of the 2 world wars. I'm assuming it's the Second World War that it's set after. I could be wrong. It could be after the first. But yeah. So Very interesting. And then that's kind of it. If you watched my last episode, I have some Impress nails. And I need to take these off because I'm going to be putting a different color on. And one of them popped off. And I would like the other ones to pop off now, but they're quite attached. So I don't have any acetone. I'm going to see if I can soak them off with some dish soap, soapy water. We'll see how that goes. But yes, thank you all for listening. If you're listening on podcast, go ahead and rate and review. If you would like to follow, if you're not following, if you are new here, I like to talk about food and fitness and having a healthy relationship with food. I have a history with binge eating and disordered eating, and I just want my body to be healthy and I want my mind to be healthy. So it's all connected. Food, fitness, rest, all the things. So if that's up your alley, go ahead and give this podcast a follow. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell so that you know when I drop the next episode. And if you have not seen the last episode, I will leave that link down below, or you can click here on screen, and I will see you guys there.